right, Shalom, Israel. Let people come into the class. All right, go ahead and tune in. All right. Okay. So roll in a little bit more. All right. Okay. All right. Shalom, Israel. We are the Isupk. Start out at 1 West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York. All right. We've been teaching the truth since 1969. We are under Commander General Yohana. We're here to teach the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth of the Bible. All right. My name is Nakar, Officer 500, stationed here in Philadelphia. I'm going live from Trenton, New Jersey, and also going live from Chester, PA. All right. As you see, the title of this class is, you understand, Have We Forgotten? Okay. The Lord do not want us to forget the things that we have been through as a people. The Lord don't want us to forget that he has a covenant with us. All right. The Lord don't want us to forget nothing. He always wants us to be in remembrance of the past, because when you have understanding of the past, it helps you navigate through in the future. All right. Now, every so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, most of us don't know that we are the real Jews. We are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. All right. We can get that in the scriptures right now. All right. We're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. You know, in here, man, we break down these scriptures where we show you the truth that's in it. We're not the Christian church where, you know, we give you a song and a dance. That's not what we do. What we do is give you the real. We give you the real understanding of the Bible. Give you what the Lord wants you to know. Okay? This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. All right? When you look inside the Zydevan Bible dictionary, compact Bible dictionary, it tells you that the word holy means separate. All right, separate. And the Lord said that that we are a holy people unto him. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Okay, so the Lord chose every so-called black, Hispanic, Native American to be chosen, and for us to only serve him. All right, he only chose us to represent him on the face of the earth because he's seen what our forefathers had in them to push this truth. And this is why here in the Isupk, we have flawless victory over anybody that's trying to come up against us, because the Lord is on our side. When you had the knowledge of this Bible and you was a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, you are unstoppable. All right. And it says that in the scriptures, man, that you would, the Lord, because you hearken into his voice, because you do you hold so true to the truth, that he will be with you, right? And definitely, man, studying and understanding this Bible makes you stronger. Okay, because where do you hear in the Christian church saying that the blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans are the Israelites? You know, knowing that you're an Israelite is you knowing that you are the prince or the princess of the power. You understand? Knowing that you are not just a nigga. Think about it. Most of us in the community, it was a time we start being proud of our blackness. You know, we used to try to say, yeah, I'm mixed with Chinese and Cambodian, and you know what I mean? My grandma was white, because we felt as though that our blackness wasn't enough. But knowing that you are Israelite, that's power. There's power in knowing who you are. You understand? Like myself coming into this truth, I learned that I was an Israelite, and it gave me an identity. It gave me a purpose. You know, I walked around, many of us just walk around and just think that, yeah, we make money and, you know, we live life. You know what I'm saying? Have sex and marry. You know what I mean? Like get money, get high. Like that's what I thought life was all about. until I came into the school. Okay. And I found out that, hey, you're an Israelite and the Lord don't want you doing whatever you want to do. You actually had to be righteous, right? So to move on, it says above all people that are upon the face of the earth. You know, the Lord wants us to be above all these people on the face of the earth, right? So let's go back in the book of Genesis, right? To give y'all let's get some understanding that the Lord don't want you to forget. All right, so we're gonna go to Genesis. I believe it's the sixth chapter. Matter of fact, it's the fourth chapter. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4 and let's start at verse 8. Okay, right here, you're gonna learn that the Lord actually cares about what happened in the past. And he actually deals with justice that he don't forget. Okay, this is Genesis chapter 4 verse 8, and this is going to also tie into really, this is like the breaking point, you know, just breaking the tip of the iceberg, all right, of this topic that I'm bringing out tonight. Verse 8 of Genesis, the 4th chapter. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. So if y'all don't know, Cain was jealous of his brother, right? He was jealous of his brother because his brother sacrifices was more was accepted more than Cain. You understand? Like Abel sacrifice, he gave his best. All right, his best was good to the Lord, and the Lord seen that his sacrifice was good. But Cain's sacrifice wasn't accepted, okay, as much as Abel's was. So, as you read right here, Cain Cain murdered his brother. All right, so we're gonna find out what happens next. All right, verse 9, and the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? Now the Lord is now asking Cain, where is Abel? All right, and it says, and he said, I know not. So now he's lying to the Lord. He said, am I my brother's keeper? Like, that was not something that people should say, I'm my brother's keeper. Cain was being fresh with his mouth and was being disrespectful to the Lord. Asking, like, a keeper, meaning, do I, like, am I his shepherd? Am I supposed to, like, know his every move? Am I his parent? Like, am I his keeper? That was Cain being fresh with his mouth with the Lord. You understand? Like, Cain had a pear on him to sit up there and try to bark at the Lord like that, right? And it says, verse 10, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother blood crieth unto me from the ground. How can the blood cry to the Lord from the ground? How can it? Well, let's think about it, right? Who else blood cried to the Lord? Who else blood cries to the Lord? Breonna Teller. You understand? Emmett Till blood cries into the Lord. Who else blood crying to the Lord? George Floyd. You understand? All the lynchings and rapes and murders of our ancestors that dwelt on plantations, that was mauled by dogs. You understand? The babies that was fed to alligators. Our blood still cries unto the Lord till this day. That's why anytime that you hear someone come out their mouth and try to say that was in the past, we need to let it go, they are wicked and destructive, man, to their own selves. Because you're never supposed to forget where you come from. The Jewish man don't forget about what happened during the times of their Holocaust. America don't forget about 9/11, Pearl Harbor. You understand what I'm saying? They don't forget about being taxed by the British when they first came over here in America. They always say, remember the Alamo. Everybody don't forget about what they've been through, but we have to forget about what we've been through. And when we forget about what we've been through, you know what happens? We become more weak and more susceptible to them. We begin to start being more of a subject unto them. You understand? More spiritually and mentally. When the Lord don't want us to move like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like Christianity, these religions have not prepared our people for war, because it's a war going on. The war starts within yourself. The war goes on in yourself and is going on around you. It's about what you're going to do once you realize that you're in this war. You understand what I'm saying? So later you find out Cain get cursed. Right? Cain get cursed. And you find out even more that it was actually people on the earth. It wasn't just Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve. You understand what I'm saying? Because with him being cursed and having his mark, it was said that other people couldn't touch him. Who's the other people? Cain got married and had kids. Who did he marry? Couldn't deal with his own sister. You understand what I'm saying? That's not how the Lord operate. They got married and kept more close. All right. So we're gonna drop that. All right. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. All right. We gotta understand these curses, man. Understand these curses, man. You understand what I'm saying? Understand these curses, because understanding these curses is going to get you the understanding of who the Jews are and how the Lord don't want you to ever forget. All right. Let's go to verse 32. Well, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. This is the curses. They don't teach you this in the Christian church. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if they teach you the curses, you're going to have to tell the truth about who your enemies are and tell the truth that we are cursed, that we don't need to deal with all these other nations, that we need to keep these laws, statutes, and commands as a nation. That's what happens when you read these curses, and that's why the Christian church, their curriculum doesn't teach you these things. You understand? The doctrine that they push, they're not going to teach you about the curses. But the curses is something that's vital and very essential for you to know. All right? Because it helps you navigate through these times. It helps you see the things that you've been through and correct it. And again, we got to have that field nigga mindset. We got to have that runaway slave mindset, that rebellion mindset, where we get the knowledge, we fully understand it, and then we go give it off to the other people. And that's how we operate in here in the ISUBK. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we ain't the type of people that take the knowledge like the Masons. We had the knowledge and share it amongst us and then keep it to ourselves and say it's a secret. When people out here is jacked up to the floor up, we should be getting the knowledge, getting ourselves together, and then continue the cycle on and on and on. That's how we supposed to. That's how our ancestors was getting out of those conditions that we was in. That's how we was able to pass this knowledge down. You think that everybody just knew that it was just Christian? No, a lot of us knew that we was Israelites. Because a lot of people that left those plantations, you have a lot of them that pushed that they was Israelites. They knew it. They was reading that Bible and they knew that it was about them. Why do you think Nat Turner rebelled the way he did? You understand? Harriet Tubman family knew that they was Israelites. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop believing the funk and we have to come back to the Lord. You understand? We need to come back to the Lord. We need to stop playing around with this truth. And we need to never forget where we come from and what we going through and what we need to do to overcome. All right. So with that being said, verse 32, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people. Hold on. This the curses. So now we learn about these curses. It said that our children will be given into another people. Let's figure out why. All right, let's figure out what's going on. And it said, thy eyes shall look and fell with longing for them all day and long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we ain't going to be able to have our children under our jurisdiction the way that we want to. And when we go back in history, what happened? What happened to our children when they got off the slave slips? You understand? What happened when we was in our quarters and we all asleep and the slave master come in, or we getting ready to go out to the field, slave master come in. He didn't gamble all his darn money away. So now he like, all right, I'm about to sell. I got some pretty young black girls on my plantation. I got some pretty young so-called Hispanic girls on my plantation. I got some pretty old little Native American girls on my plantation. Look, I sell you them. I sell you these little girls to pay off my debt. And I throw in some of my men to pay off my debt. That's how it was. And the Christian church don't want to sit up there and teach these things, that these was the things that was going to happen, and it had to happen because of our disobedience unto the Lord. Man, we better stop sitting up there playing around with this truth, man, and start taking it more serious. You understand? Let's skip down to verse 48. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies. Thy who? Thy enemies. Who? Thy enemies. Who? Thy enemies. You have enemies. We are a nation of people. Let me tell you something. America knows who their enemies are. Surely Russia knows who their enemies are. And the Ukraine knows. The Ukraine knows who their enemy is. You understand what I'm saying? They know who their enemy is. And let me tell you something. And they act upon it. You see what Russia doing? Every war ain't for it the same. You see that America is doing what? They hitting them with sanctions. America's and NATO is hitting them with sanctions to do what? To try to cripple their economy. Not every war got to be fought with swords and guns and, you understand, nuclear bombs and all types of missiles. Every war don't got to be fought like that. And in the Bible, the Lord said the weapons of our warfare is not carnal, meaning that this war ain't going to take us to go pick up arms, because there is no way. This is not how the Lord designed it to be. He wants us to go through these things to overcome it and stick together as a family, being in righteousness and love and having real leadership amongst these ranks of Israel. That's what the Lord wants us to do. He wants us to fight our spirit. He wants us to fight in the spirit against the flesh, like Paul always taught. You know what I'm saying? Deny the flesh. All in Galatians, I believe, is the 6th or 12th or the 5th chapter, where it talks about how you gotta go hard on fighting that flesh. You know what happens when we start fighting our flesh and living more in the spirit? You know what happens? The crime rate go down. Abortion rate go down. You understand? The single parenthood is going down. Both parents going to be more at the house. The spread of STDs and HPVs would immediately slow down, because now everybody is being more conscious of what they do. You understand? Who we sleep with. These things would be in order if we understood this truth. You understand what I'm saying? And if we all were to do that, America and all these other countries will crumble, because then, as much as black people want to talk about the black economy this and the black economy that, you know what I'm saying, buying black businesses, it wouldn't be no issue. It'll go skyrocket. We got all these all these brothers and sisters with degrees. You understand what I'm saying? We wouldn't even have to go to their universities no more, because we have all the knowledge. It ain't nothing for whoever the black people that got their masters, PhDs, and all that was high degrees in their fields. It ain't nothing for them to now do what? Pass the knowledge down the same way we did on those fields. The same way we do here in the ISUBK. The ISUBK started originally from angry ex-black slaves from down south that knew that they was Israelites. And they was angry because why? Because of the conditions that they was in and the things that we was going through as a people. They was the angry ones. Not everybody was down with the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement sat up there and it prepped us to do what? It prepped us to forgive the oppressor. It sat up there and made us weaker under them. It made us do what? Stop buying black. To allow Chinese people to come into the neighborhoods. Oh, you think that the Chinese just coming into black neighborhoods in America? No, they setting up shop in Jamaica too. All in the Caribbean. They down there in those Caribbeans buying up hotels, buying up stores. You understand what I'm saying? Promising, yeah, we're gonna give y'all more jobs. And you know what they do? They don't give you the jobs. They don't give you the jobs. It's already out there. The brothers, the tribe of Benjamin is letting it be known that it was a scam. The politicians was like, no, man, it's a good thing that these agents is coming down into the Caribbean. They gonna give us jobs. Building up those businesses like them hotels and those, you know what I mean, them big buildings. They only paying the agents. You know what happened? Those agents is broke in China. They're broke in China, but they're going to become rich in 3 years tops off the struggle and the curses of the nation of Israel. All right. Verse 48 in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. The Lord, man, said right here that we will serve our enemies. So now you got to go back to the Christian pastor and ask, yo, do we have enemies? No, brother, we don't have enemies. Well, the Lord said right here that we will serve our enemies. And in hunger and in thirst and want of all things. What that mean? That means exactly what we are still doing today and have done in the past. On them plantations, we couldn't eat or drink without the white man. Nowadays, the way how you want to clothe yourself, the white man, you got to go through the white man. How you want to have power and electricity and gas all in your house, you got to call the white man and say, hey, I need you to turn my power on. All these things you got to do through the white man to show you that you have no power. You understand? Most of our brothers is out here killing one another for stupidness. You don't even own the block. That white man come down on that block and shut it off. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. But you're such a gangster. You're such a smart guy. You killing your own people. And not realizing the energy that you need to have towards the enemy. The real enemy. Like, we out here killing one another tit for tat, tit for tat. And then when your homeboy get locked up, oh, free Rel, free man. No, y'all, like, come on now. Y'all already know it shouldn't be no free. Oh, man, yeah, F12. No, he did. He knew, listen, y'all know what y'all doing. And it all comes from us sitting up there not realizing and understanding, you understand, that we supposed to be sticking together, right? That we have an enemy. When we don't know who our real enemy is, we hate anybody. Like, it's a time when you might be at work, it's busy. You understand what I'm saying? You might hate this coworker of yours. You're like, man, I can't stand this mother effer, right? But guess what? When when stuff hit the fan and everything getting busy, y'all look at each other like, look, a yunde. A yunde means help in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? A yunde. You know what I mean? Come on, let's get it done. And y'all get it done. That's how we gotta look at one another. You know what I mean? If you're a Black, Hispanic, Native American, we have one enemy. We got a war that needs to be won. You understand? And here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are here to solely win the war. All right? The war is going on outside, and you have to boot up. You got to get active. I tell many Black brothers, man, come on. Hispanic, Native American brothers, come on, boot up. You understand? Forget all of the chit-chat and all the falling back. We got to fight. Because if we don't fight, who going to fight? Oh, the Africans? The Africans don't care about us. Where they at? Everybody want to say the Israelite, the ISUPK, them Israelites is crazy. They be downtown and doing all that. Actually, listen to what we saying. Listen what we saying to you. We saying half of the time what you saying. It's just that we have the guts. We have we have the guts and the heart to say it out loud. You understand? We been was telling the Black woman to shut her mouth and stop being a dragon in her home to her man. Now we was called crazy. But now when you go all over on social media, you hear men complaining. You hear the men complaining. But because this was already needed to be understood. We told y'all about COVID-19, that these pestilences was going to come because this was supposed to happen. Everybody was so shocked. The Christian church was trying to purge it out the world. But these things were supposed to happen. And I'm going to bring that up a little later. These things were supposed to happen. The wars was supposed to happen to redeem us. The Lord said, man, he is going to visit them. So why are we sitting around thinking that we can just forget what happened in the past and be at peace with America? Well, America don't care about you. One second. All right. Got kind of disconnected. Once we realize this ain't the place of our rest, we would be better off. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this ain't the place of our rest. Like, so many people think that money is, you know, we can just turn up with it and, you know what I mean, money is everything. No, money is a defense. You understand what I'm saying? Like, right here, I'm going to tell you who your enemy is. Let's get back to the scriptures, right? Well, that's what we deal with in here. We deal with the scriptures. Let's deal with the scriptures. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. The Lord allow these other nations to devour us. The white man was sent to devour us for the iniquities of what we have done. So let's get this straight. I can prove to you right now. I'm proving to you. I'm going to prove tonight that we are paying. We're right here is showing you that we're paying for our ancestors' sins, right? And then, you know, when it comes biblical, we automatically include ourselves being there because of reincarnation. And we deal with a unit. We ain't going to just point fingers. We sinned against the Lord. So through our generations, we have to pay for what we did. So why can't they pay for what they did? You understand what I'm saying? Why can't we pay for what we did? I mean, why can't they pay for what they did? Right? Verse 49. Matter of fact, no. Let's keep going. On verse 48. It said, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. That yoke of iron is not always going to be physical. Again, war is not all fought the same way. Certain wars is fought in certain manners and certain styles. You understand? Again, give an example. Look at Russia. Russia is getting hit with sanctions, where now their dollar is at an all-time low. All right, their economy is going to get hit. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't gonna be able to trade. A lot of things ain't gonna go in. A lot of people is turning down the products that comes from Russia. Right now, Russia has their own gas, own oil, but how long can you know your nation last when you got sanctions hit on you? Right? Look inside the crack epidemic. Right? When they said it was war on drugs. But it was really war on black people. It was really war on the Hebrews. You understand? Because with it being war on the Hebrews, right? Check it out. With it being war on the Hebrews, now guess what? Now they have a way of controlling us. Because it was a time when we was actually being more rebellious. We stuck more together. All right. So what they did, they put the drugs inside our communities. So when they put the drug in our communities, now you have the father on drugs. He's strung out on drugs, right? Makes him weak. The mom strung out on drugs, destroys the kids, right? And the DEA and the CIA, all right, then already admitted that this is what they have done. You understand? The Nixon and the Reagan office was known for hating our people, right? So propaganda, you understand? And I had some books here, right? I have books. And you talking about a war? Jim Crow. Understanding Jim Crow. You understand? I like to pull this book out from time to time. Understanding Jim Crow by David Pilgrim. All right. And it has these pictures in it, right? Where it shows, all right, how the white man looked at us. And this was propaganda. This was him, Jim Crow, the Jim Crow era, and all the memorabilia. It was things to paint the picture in white people's mind to hate us more, to push more white supremacy, right? And we, as Blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans, we try to forget about white supremacy. A lot of us don't even understand what white supremacy is. Let me tell you what white supremacy is. You know what white supremacy is? Christianity. Christianity is white supremacy. How is it? Because now when you think in your mind of Jesus, before you ever heard Jesus was a black man, you thought that Jesus was a white man. You think that God was a white man. And when you hear the word white, you hear somebody say white, you think good. But when you hear black, it's bad. It's always saying that is around, surrounded by black. Oh, the black cat is evil. The white cat is good. White magic, black magic. It's a difference in all that. You understand? White supremacy. White supremacy is white people holding themselves up superior and fighting for them to stay on top. But we should be black supremacists to sit up there and do everything in our power to keep black people, Hispanics, Native Americans on top. You understand what I'm saying? Understanding Jim Crow, this book is good. I mean, I can go into it. All right. So right here, you see how they looked at black women. Right? The same black woman that sat up there and took care of their children, nursed their children up until they was grown. You understand what I'm saying? Our sons, you know what I mean? The sons of the parents on the field worked hard for these families to be multi-millionaires and have all this old money. And in return, this is how they think of us. You understand what I'm saying? And we ain't do not one thing to these people to cause them to have this type of hatred against us. So when you try to tell somebody, oh man, forget about what happened in the past, that's why the topic of the class is, have you forgotten? Have you forgotten about what happened to us? Have you forgotten? Because in here we don't forget. We don't forget. And if you forget, good night. You understand? You is like putty in somebody's hands. You understand? Someone is pulling strings when it comes to you. You understand? You doing whatever the puppet master tell you to do. And here we cut them strings, man. We pass the word around. We let it be known, and we rebel, man. That's the spirit that we gotta have. We gotta be rebels. You understand what I'm saying? Black men shouldn't be up here getting shape ups and you know what I mean, out here just having sexual whores and getting money and thinking that's being a man. Oh, I'll take care of my kids. I'll do this. No, being a man is you sitting up there willing to die for your people. Because every other nation, they will join a military and be willing to die for their people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's the truth. You gotta be willing to die for this nation. And coming into the ISUBK, this is where you sign up. You know what I'm saying? This is where you lace your first pair of boots. This is where you get your first all black outfit that actually means something. It's where you get your first headpiece, your first Mitri, your first boot kiss from a white some white person. You understand? Some African, Asian, East Indian, Arab, Persian, whoever. This is where you get the first boot kiss from, because they deserve to sit up there and serve under you. They deserve it because of what we've been through. Let's keep reading. Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth. Listen, these people is from a whole other part from where we at. It is just another speech of saying from somebody far away. You understand what I'm saying? As swift as the eagle flieth. Swift as the eagle flieth. Look at the white nation, that every white nation that they built is always what? An eagle. The Romans, the Greeks, America. You understand what I'm saying? Then they got the eagle. They understand who they are. They not going to tell you who they is. They going to tell you in secret. But right here, we got another book that y'all can go check out. Where in this book, it tells you that the white man is Esau in the Bible. And I can pull up the page. Hold on 1 second. You know what I'm saying? Like, the white man know that they not the Israelites. All right. Let's read the page 5. Okay? Page 5, the legacy of Esau, Edom. The life and history of Esau. Esau was the firstborn to Isaac, and thus was the heir to the birthright derived from the direct racial lineage of Adam to Noah to Abraham. Thus Esau was racially an Adamite, and this is in the Bible. How he was an Adamite. How is he an Adamite? Everybody is Adamites. Because we all come from Adam. When Noah got on that boat, on the ark, he brought his 3 sons and they wives. You understand? And they sat up there and procreated. So the whole world is Adamites. It wasn't everybody being Adamites from the tree of good and evil in the Garden of Eden. It didn't start there. It started when the flood happened. So it's saying that Esau is racially an Adamite. And this is a white man that is proving that the ISUBK been right about the white man. And that the Bible deals with nationalities. It deals with certain race of people. Not everybody is a human in the Bible. That is not what the Bible deals with. It deals with reality. And that's what be our issue and problem. Because we want to deal with mythology and things that make you feel good in your heart. No, you got to hear the things that you don't want to hear. The things that you need to know. All right? It says, thus Esau was racially an Adamite, a Semite, and a Hebrew, the racial stock of the white race. The racial stock of the white race. Just as Esau despised his birthright when he sold it into Jacob. So that's how he's not considered an Israelite, because he sold his birthrights to who? Jacob. Jacob wasn't supposed to get the birthright. Now, technically he was, because it was prophesied that it was going to happen. You understand? Rebecca got this revealing from the angel when the babies was in the stomach. All right. So with Esau served his birthright for a bloody suit, right? And that's like you selling your soul, right? For riches. Someone that sells their soul to get money, to get fame, to get power. That's is what Esau do. And as you see, he's inside these secret societies, making people do what? Sell their birthright, in a way. Sell their soul. You know what I'm saying? That's why you hear all the stories about, the Illuminati and Freemasons is up there taking people behind closed doors in the music industry. You understand? Because that's what the white man do. That's the type of time he been on. If he's willing to sell his birthrights, meaning the kingdom of heaven, he sold the kingdom of heaven for a bloody pot of soup. Good night. You know what I'm saying? That's like me sitting up there. I gotta write this letter to this girl. I give you this pen if you, you know what I mean? You know, love back then was a little bit more different before social media. You love somebody, you love them pretty much hard. You understand what I'm saying? Look, I got this pen. You know what I mean? Sell me your birthright. You know what I mean? Sell me your birthright and I'll give you this pen. What? And he said, what does birthright got to do? I don't benefit from this. Give me that pot of soup. Give me that pen. That's equivalent to what it was. Soup. You serious? Is that deep? You know what I'm saying? So, boom. You understand? To give you a little understanding of, the white man in the Bible. All right. Now it says that we serve under white people. You know what I mean? The ones that it says, swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. They wasn't speaking Hebrew. They was speaking Greek. You know what I'm saying? They was speaking in Greek. They was speaking Latin. These people, they was speaking English. We ain't never speak those languages. You understand what I'm saying? So to give you more understanding that these people that captured us, that sold our children, you understand, and put us in chains, they are enemy. Verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor of the young. That's the oppressor in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? That's the oppressor in a nutshell, and that's what we got to understand. That, they don't care about the old and the young. That sound like Esau to me. Don't what do you think? Sound like Esau, right? Mm-hmm. So straight up, like we gotta stop being so weak and being suckers and try to tell somebody, hey, don't sit up there and worry about what happened in the past. I hate when people tell me that. I hate when people tell me that, honestly. You tell me not to remember the past, but the past is what shapes the future. You understand? Like, if I don't know what my family stood for, right? If my parents never tell me, the things that they've been through and overcame, or what they went through to get to where they at, then how can I ever really understand anything? You dig what I'm saying? So let's drop that. Let's go to verse 68. All right. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. You want to get there? I don't know. I saw you looking like, hold on, you gonna slow down and let me catch up with you? Man. Listen, like, share, and subscribe, man. Hit the notification button. All right. These classes is heavy. You're going to get a lot of understanding in these classes. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and 68th verse. All right. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to let you go ahead and get to it. All right. So let me get it for you. Let's see. Deuteronomy. It look like you're in Genesis. Good night. You right here. Hold on. Deuteronomy, 28th chapter, 32. Yeah, man. There you go. Right there. Verse 68. All right. So it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. All right. So it says we will go into Egypt again, but by ships. I explained to you that Egypt is not what you think it is in the Bible if you never really read the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter. All right. This is how you know that this is talking about the transatlantic slave trade. Transatlantic slave trade. All right. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. All right. Out of the house of bondage, man. That's what it's talking about. So when we sit up there and when we look inside this Bible and it's talking about Egypt, we know that we always supposed to know that Egypt was a place where we served as slaves, right? The same when we look at America, supposed to be what? A place that we served as slaves. Okay, so it says that going back to Deuteronomy 68 verse, it says bring thee into Egypt again with ships. How did we get here in America? The place of bondage? By ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Meaning that we won't be able to see our homeland again. We won't see it again. All right. So that disqualifies the Jewish man over there dwelling in our place. You understand? Dwelling in our kingdom. You understand? Jerusalem is our land. They don't belong there. You understand? And the read on, it says, and there ye shall be sold into your enemies. Your who? Your enemies. We were sold into our who? Our enemies. Right? So why the Christian church trying to tell us in the IHBK that we crazy, that we not teaching the gospel of God? You know the Christian church gonna tell you, oh, you reading that Old Testament. They're gonna tell you reading that Old Testament, you crazy. That's what they're gonna tell you. They're gonna be like, oh, you reading that Old Testament. See, that's your problem. You reading that Old Testament. You supposed to be reading the New Testament. We're gonna get into the New Testament. Right? Right about now. Let's read this. All right, let's read the rest of this. It says, and ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, meaning buying you freedom. So how the Jewish man is over in Israel right now, and he was giving it to him. It was given to him. You understand? He was able to get out of the Holocaust. That was the punishment. You understand? The Holocaust was the punishment? Nah. Y'all don't even know who the 12 tribes are. The 12 tribes is in the ghettos. The real ghettos. You understand what I'm saying? They try to say, yeah, you know, we was in the ghettos. And the Germans was so harsh to us. Now everybody love y'all. Y'all on top of the world. You on top of the world, Craig. You know what I'm saying? Like they out there enjoying themselves. While the real Jews is still in mourning. The real Jews are in mourning. And we have no gates. We have no gates. How every other nation have gates. I mean, it's something to protect us. America knows that police brutality is a thing, they do nothing. They actually going to give the police more money. More money to do what? To enjoy their lives and go home and, you understand, and do more drugs. You understand, to live the life that they want to live. They get more money while we suffer. You understand? You talk about debunking the police, and that's a crime. You know what I'm saying? You say Black Lives Matter, they talk about all lives matter, blue lives matter. Like that's what we up against. All right, back into the scripture. All right, so that's it right there. Let's go to the book of Revelations, the 11th chapter. I believe the 11th chapter. The 11th chapter. Let me see. One second. Trying to see. You know which one it is. Trying to figure it out. 1 second, y'all. You getting it? Can't believe I can't find it. You know what? Go to verse 19. Go to verse 19. I'll get y'all. Go to verse 19. We're going to start from there. One second, y'all. Do apologize. All right. Okay. All right. Let's start from verse 11. All right. Now, this is the Lord. Now, they say, don't go to the Old Testament. All right, let's go let's go to the New Testament, right? Revelation chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. That's talking about Christ. The whole book of Revelation is talking about how Christ is going to come back and redeem the nation of Israel. All right, verse 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire. You already know that if you read the book of Revelation, it's the first chapter, verses 13 to 15. Okay. His eyes was a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew, but he himself. So, of course, you know, a lot of people don't even understand about Christ, the things that he did in his time. All right. And, you know, that's why we are here to teach, okay, the truth of God, the word of God, being the commandments of God. All right. And, of course, we're going to teach you the truth that Christ was really that Christ pushed. And Christ was pushing us being loyal to the Lord and to one another, loving one another. Okay, that's the name that no man know. Oh, nobody don't understand what Christ was really teaching. A lot of people don't understand that Christ was a rebel. They don't know that. Christ was against our leaders. So many people say, "Oh, you can't judge me." Christ was calling the scribes, the Pharisees, and all of them, and the Sadducees, hypocrites, thieves, and liars, and ones that perverse the scriptures. That's what Christ was doing. He wasn't holding everybody's hand. All right. So speed it up. Verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of God. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. Now, here we go. We read in the New Testament. All right. And this is explaining the day of judgment. All right. Clothed in white linen, white and clean. Verse 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. Why he smiting the nations? Why is he smiting the nations? You go inside the Old Testament, you'll find out why. You understand? And just understand what Christ had to come and do. Christ had to help fix his people so that this word can continue on through our generations. You understand? And to die for our sins, man. He was a major sacrifice that had to be put up on you know what I mean, before the Lord. All right. And it says, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it shall smite the nations. Meaning that Christ gave the order. Christ is going to give the order to the 1/3, well, the 144, and to those angels. And when he give the order, go devour everything, that's what's going to happen. All right. That's what it says in the Bible, not my words. All right. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Same way they ruled us with a rod of iron, we're going to rule them with a rod of iron. And it's righteous that we do that. Why is it righteous that we do that? Because what they did to us was straight up evil. What they did to us was straight down low dog type of behavior. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why would you do with people that did nothing to you? You sit up there and feed our babies to alligators. Like, that's disgusting. You understand what I'm saying? Like, to do that to innocent people. Like, we ain't do nothing to you. We just mind our own business. We ain't bothering nobody. We wasn't telling nobody, hey, you know, F you and we gonna come kill you and things like that. We wasn't on that tight time. We just got out of Rome. We got to deal with Africans wanting to do all types of evil things towards us. You know what I'm saying? We just minding our business. And with minding our business, they come through wanting to, pretty much overtake us and did things that was uncalled for. So the Lord is going to put them in chains. The Lord is going to have Christ put them in chains and make sure that they never, ever be able to do the things that they did on this earth again. Even the earth is about tired of them. You understand? Like, just think about it. The earth started going back to normal during the pandemic. Because we was all in the house, what the white man do? He forces you to do what? Work over and over, like constantly, long hours of work, right? Even through the Industrial Revolution, it's polluting the air. The factories that gotta be ran, usually they dumping their toxins into the waters. They dumping the toxins in the waters. What happens? The water quality go down. The earth is the ozone layer is weakening. It was weak. It started getting strong. They even said it. The clouds that was over LA and California, it started clearing up. The canals in Italy actually started being able to, get clear and not smell as bad. Like, that's what you understand? Like, we want the world to be in peace. But when we have these people in charge, man, the world is in shambles. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why we got to be back on top. All right? So, Boom, boom, boom. And it says, and treadeth his winepress, the fierceness of and wrath of the Almighty God. You understand? So the Christ is going to kill. And he's going to do it in the right spirit because these are things that's supposed to happen. All right. Verse 16, and he have on his vesture, on his thigh, a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Meaning that Christ, you understand, even when America is one of the most strongest countries in the world, he's going to be the king over them. You understand? All the lords of this world, all the landlords, the country lords and all that, the land, the lords, meaning people in power, having authority. He's going to be over all of them. And he is over all of them. He just sits on the throne and allows things to happen on the face of the earth. The Lord is allowing these things to happen because, again, he's going to show his power to everybody on the face of the earth, including us. All right. Verse 17, and I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of the heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. Meaning that this is talking about the army of Christ, where these angels are like, listen, man, this is what the Lord wants y'all to do. Take everything. That's how we always operate. That's how we move. You know how they say in Chicago, that's how I'm bumming? That's how we bumming. We taking everything. We running in a spot. We laying down whatever. You understand? And we taking whatever. We might not even take what you got because we don't even need it. But we coming in a spot, everything getting put down. And when Christ say, halt, we going to understand whoever is now left after that, they're going to be prisoners of war. And I'm going to show you in the Bible. And this is Christ showing you that he doesn't forget. He's not just coming just for, like, nobody really explained the day of judgment. You ever realize that? Like, judgment day? Oh, it's when everybody is going to be judged.
In the world, it was different.
Go ahead, explain.
Christian. As a Christian, I got the rapture.
The
That's
rapture?
what they gave me. Yeah.
And the rapture is bullcrap. Yeah. The rapture is bullcrap. The rapture is nowhere in the Bible. It's nowhere in the Bible talking about the rapture. You understand? But the day of judgment, you understand? Judgment day is when all nations are going to be judged. And they're going to be judged and they're going to be punished for the iniquities of their fathers and also themselves. That's why it says, man, that the Lord is going to give the order, free and bond. Get them all. Devour them. The same way they devoured y'all. Everybody knows the scripture. Those that kill it with the sword must be killed with the sword. And then those that enter those into captivity shall what? Go into captivity. It's supposed to happen. It's life. We went through it. We going through it to this day. We don't got no might in our hand. We up here arguing about dead weight in a relationship and what roles women play. You understand? We up here arguing about nonsense. That's what we focus on. You understand? Ain't no might in our hand. You understand? We destroy. And what the Lord wants us to do is to serve him so that we can enjoy the day of judgment. Judgment day is supposed to be a happy day for you, not a day when you're nervous, when you're thinking that judgment day, when you're sitting on the line, judgment day ain't when you're sitting on the line. Judgment day is when Christ is coming back and you're going to see angels destroying this planet, destroying the ones that's in it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we have to endure. We have to do what we had to do. Good night. He had some good milk right there. All right. So boom. All right, let's go. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. What that sound like? America. America made what? A space force. All right. They came out with Star Wars back in the time of Reagan era. They know that is stuff out there that they they can't explain. Really. That's why they came up with Star Force. They want to get the technology to be able to destroy the angels of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They see those spaceships and they like, yo, the way this spaceship just moved this slow and moved that fast, a human can't be in that. And in the Bible, they talked about spaceships. Think about it. They talked about UFOs back before. Okay, young man. All right. They talked about UFOs before sci-fi, before the first car was even thought of. This is what they did. So if we knew that UFOs was the Lord's chariots back then, and we seen it with our eyes, we was able to explain it, then why would Christ come back through those chariots like that? Why would they have these forces to try to defend the earth against Christ? Because they know. That's why I says right here, the beast. It said, and I saw the beast and the kings of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the other nations. All right, and they're in their armies. So now on earth, on the day of judgment, they're going to have their armies trying to what? Fight against the Lord. Right? And it says, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken. The beast was what? Taken. And with him, the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast. So this is talking about the white man. That's a false prophet. Everybody believes that the white man is this amazing thing, and the person that gave them the mark of the beast, meaning the philosophy, made them. They had to serve under them. Like think of, let's take America for example. You have the UN, NATO, right? That's what the Ukraine is trying to get help from. They're trying to get help from NATO. Russia don't want Ukraine to join NATO, and this is why they're going to war with NATO. I mean, with Ukraine, because they're like, okay, we used to be brothers. You said forget me because Russian. You ever heard of the Ukraine? I mean, you ever heard of the Soviet Union? Okay, the Soviet Union was a union of the Russians, I believe the Germans, and the Soviet Union was mainly against America, right? They was America's enemy. So the Soviet Union, the Ukraine, I believe they broke apart from it was either these three time periods, the 60s, 80s, or the 90s. The Ukraine said, I'm cool. I don't want to join with Russia. I'm falling back. Right? For their reason. So now Ukraine for years was seeking to have this alliance, this strong alliance with NATO, with the umbrella of America, Europe, and you know what I'm saying, all those countries, right? So now America, right, to get down with NATO, you got to be down with the agenda of who? The white man. But specifically America. You understand what I'm saying? So now this false prophet done gave everybody this mark of the beast. You understand? The Africans done served them, the Arabs and all that in different countries and all that. Now everybody then took this mark of the beast of the white man. Took this mark of the beast of the white man, took the philosophies, took the religion and willing to die. You understand? They made peace with this thing. So now it's to the point where it's like, okay, uh this false prophet is now being exposed. All right. And it said, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. Talking about what? Worship Caesar Borgia, right? The white Jesus. All right. And these both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Right? So this is talking about, okay, this is talking about what's gonna happen, you understand, with a lot of these other nations where they will be cast alive into the brimstone. And it says, and the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, where sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So this is talking about uh this is talking about how the white man is going to be put to death, how they would be tried for their war crimes, right? Because we are at war with them. And pretty much how we gonna be on top. All right. We almost getting close to time. So
Question.
yeah, go ahead.
This was like punishment for us, right?
Yes.
Into captivity. So was it something that was taken too far? Is that why they're?
Yes. They in the scriptures. I would have to find it. I've been I always come across it, right? But it's a scripture, y'all can look for it, where it says they took it too far, right? They did. We was supposed to just serve under the white man, right? Serve out our punishment. We do what they do. Hey, do this, do that, punishment, this and that, right? What they did wrong was they took it too far. They murdered us. They raped us. They humiliated us. They took away our identity. They changed our God. They lied to us. All these things is serious war crimes. And to the Lord, that's why the Egyptians was slaughtered. That's why everything was taken away from them. The Egyptians was never the same after we left. Now when you look at the Egyptians now, they somewhere bathing in cow dung and cow piss.
So
While the Arabs over took the Egypt. You know what?
So in
You gotta speak up so they can hear you.
No.
I know.
So in Egyptian captivity, was we able to practice our
our traditions?
Yeah, and serve.
Okay, we was able to, but it was sometimes it was certain complications, in any captivity. But really we were, but it was like, being in captivity, it does something to the spirit, right? It all right, yeah, it does something to the spirit. It actually just look at today, to give you the understanding that we was messed up in the head. We witnessed the Lord. We seen a glimpse of the Lord. We was like, we want to see the God that you do all these miracles with. This is niggas. I'm gonna let you know, niggas is in the Bible. You understand? We are hard. We want to see the God, and the Lord showed a glimpse of himself. You can come here.
No.
We saw the glimpse of the Lord, and we was like, it was thunder cracking and all that. It was like, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like we was like, listen, Moses, you talk to that dude. That we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we was like, man, we was actually this how messed up we were, right? Captivity is so detrimental that we was telling Moses in his face, we would rather go back in Egypt than keep walking in the damn wilderness with you. When the Lord was showing his power and being, the Lord was actually about to just cut all us off and just start everything over through Moses because we were just being ungrateful. So, to answer your question, we was able to practice what we practiced, but of course, through captivity, they don't really explain it too much. But during captivity, things can get difficult. You got any other questions? What's up? So we're gonna go to the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. We go to the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. All right. The Lord don't never want you to forget about what you've been through as a people. All right. You'll be stupid to forget. And I'm gonna show you right here. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. All right. So this is talking about Israelites being able to go back into Jerusalem. You understand, when it's time for us to have a rest from our bondage. And the strangers shall be joined with them. It said what? And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. Okay, this is talking about us being on top and these other nations having to be under us. This is what Christ is coming for. All right, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. Bring them what? Put them in a place where they need to belong under us, and being able to take orders from us and us being able to rule over them. And bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. All right, they're going to be servants and handmaids to us. All right, they're going to be the ones cleaning up our houses, mowing our lawns. Okay, they're going to sit out there and take care of our fruit and vegetables. They're going to have to do these things because they're going to have to serve out their punishment. In the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, talking about Jerusalem, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives. Hold on, captives, what that mean? How you get a captive? By capturing them. Capturing them how? Through war. That's how we're going to get them. Who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. We shall rule over our oppressors. That's what the Lord wants us to do. So when you go talk to the Christian church, you go talk to whoever leader you talk to, ask them these questions, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what the Bible really talking about right here, what the Lord is saying, is basically telling you, man, don't be a sucker, man. Know that these people got to pay for what they did. Don't just easily forgive them. They have to pay for what they did. And when they pay for what they do, then it can be some type of mercy on that. They you know what I mean? They serve out their punishment. You know, they might can have some kind of freedom. You understand what I'm saying? But right here, man, it says that we shall rule over our oppressors, man. We have to. They gotta pay their dues, man. It's due time. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. Think about your grandma and grandpop, how many hours that they had to work just to make ends meet to feed their family. Think about what our moms and fathers do. Think about what we do now. You understand? Think about what our kids gonna have to do if Christ don't come back in enough time. Our kids gonna have to bust their behinds even more. You understand? We this is our time, our sorrows. Think about how many of us we had to bury our children instead of them burying us. Think about how many homies we done lost in the streets. How many people that we see on a daily strung out on drugs, crack cocaine, dope, all forms of opioids, and indulging in alcoholism. These are things that we see. Broken homes in all various forms. This is the time of our sorrows, man. All right. And it says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest. Meaning, real rest is when we are no longer under the white man. That's real rest. That's real rest right there. All right. And it says, shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, from thy fear. All right. You won't have to fear if your child is going to make it home or not, because your child is going to be safe. We're going to be amongst each other. You ain't going to have to worry about those things. You ain't going to have to worry about if a man is going to put his hands on you anymore. You understand? Because now you know for sure that it's only righteous men on the earth. You understand, that you can be with. You know, you don't have to be in the field with somebody having to, bust down your door and shoot you in your sleep. Because now that ain't going to never happen. These are things that we want to fight for. All right? And us not forgetting about what we've been through, it helps to understand these scriptures. A person that don't care about the past is never going to understand these scriptures, because it deals with a lot of integrity, understanding. You know how many wars has been fought on this planet Earth? And how many people don't forget what happened? We can't forget what happened. We can't just look at the past as, oh yeah, it's just a learning thing, and we just move forward. We shouldn't just focus on that. It's so much other things. It's negative. It's not negative. It's real life. And the Lord said that this ain't the place of our rest, because we still under the oppressor, man. Let's keep going, right? It says, and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Good night. Then we just read that we had to be bondmen and bondwomen to our enemies. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. Now let's skip down to verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their fathers. This is talking about what? Not forgetting. It said prepare slaughter for the iniquities. All right. Prepare slaughter for his children. Talking about his descendants. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson, all those fine American presidents, all those fine white slave owners, all those fine white people that had a hand in our issues and problems here on the earth, the ones that, all the colonels that came down and slaughtered all the Native Americans, came down into the Caribbeans and all in the islands where the Hispanics and the Caribbean, the West Indians is dwelling, and came right through, all those things. Yeah, they're going to have to pay for that. It don't matter. And listen, white people, they're going to tell you, oh, it don't, or Africans or Arabs or Chinese, oh, it wasn't me who did that. It wasn't that wasn't me. I wasn't back there. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers. They do not rise. The Lord do not want these people to rise anymore. That's why in the book of Obadiah it says that they're going to be cut off from being a nation for their war crimes. They're going to work, and they ain't going to work no more. They're going to do what they do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, well, you never know. The Lord might have mercy. Their descendants might really please the Lord and spare their life. You understand what I'm saying? Who knows? The Lord is merciful. They might. I don't know. Who knows? But that ain't the point. We ain't even there yet. So the Lord said to prepare slaughter for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. All right. Well, that's what we got to understand. All right. We got to understand this truth. We got to understand our past. Our past is the key to the future. Never forget that. You understand what I'm saying? Never forget that the past is the key to the future. Because learning the past, understanding where you come from, reading on war reports of what happened, reading the knowledge that's passed down from our ancestors, from the Lord directly, that's how we able to keep our people together. It's how we able to be better leaders and better soldiers and better princesses of the power here in us being Hebrews, being Israelites. We have to change the way that we think. We have to change the way that we speak. The Lord says the way, watch what you think in your mind. Because what you think in your mind can be poisonous. I'm paraphrasing, right? You want to always remember where you come from. Never forget where you come from. Because the moment that you forget where you come from, that's when the world can get a full grasp onto you. In Romans, the 12th chapter, it tells you to not to be conformed to this world. This world wants you to forget about what happened to your people, and they want you to move on and be a good American. Stop thinking that money is actually going to equal your integrity, that it equals your morals, your wisdom. Money is just a defense, right? When we look in these relationships will mean more to us, all right? These relationships need to understand we have to have that mindset like, damn, I hate to say it, but we got to think like we on that plantation. We think like we on that plantation. Guess what? Now, I'm going to protect you with all my heart. I got you. You know what I mean? I'm going to get us out of here. You understand? All together. You know what I mean? That unity, understanding that we still in the trenches. This ain't no place of our rest, man. This ain't the place of our rest. You read through history, you gonna realize how every war is fought. It ain't fought the same. And this war that we in, yeah, you can be whatever you want in America. You can be whatever you want in America. But let me tell you something, man. It's still a war on you, because the war is to keep you away from serving God, and raising up as a nation of people. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's the real spill. All right. I encourage y'all to get y'all bookcase filled up with these books, these history books. Get y'all these books, man. I'm trying to tell you. This book right here, Nation Knows No Color Line. Get this. Where it shows you black people actually having some rulership in Europe. That's the coat of arms of the black people. You see the faces, black, but they try to act like we was just regular niggas. We just slaves. Look at that. Showing you the coat of arms of the black people. This is real life. This ain't nothing that, you know, this ain't just us sitting up there. You know, we wasn't just slaves in Europe. Look at this. This brother had the you know what I mean? Had the afro with the goatee. You understand? He was a brother. People that was ruling in Europe. Everybody wasn't sitting up there white in Europe ruling. It was different time periods. This the Negro times. Dang, they even took away the blackness from the from the Egyptians. I mean, we don't care about them. You understand? We just say they was Africans and keep it moving. Y'all can argue whatever y'all want with the Egyptians. We don't care about those homosexuals. But in the Bible, man, they all black. And these people been wrong. And the same people that be wrong is still on the earth. We have to understand that. All right. I'm coming up on the time. We're gonna end it right here. You know what I'm saying? Again, make sure y'all build up y'all library, fill up your bookshelves with these powerful books. All right. You might not have the funds. Get on them PDFs. Get those audio books popping. They free on YouTube. All right. You know, they got the PDF forms on Google. Just find the book, PDF. Boom, you might find it. Or they might got the audio book. Get these books, man. Get those PDFs printed out. You understand? Or put them on put it on the internet somewhere where you can save it. So that you'll be able to have these records and you'll be able to give this knowledge and pass it on. Get in class, more importantly. If you ain't in the school, get in the school. I don't know what you're waiting for. Ain't nothing in the world for you. You understand? Coming in here is something for you, man. It's the blessings of the Lord. With that being said, I thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Share this class. Hit the notification button, notification bell. All right. Make sure that you keep tuning in, man. Let's get these subscribers, these likes up. I thank y'all for tuning in. Shalom.